Hello, salutations everyone. It is the end of the week here at All Things Chadwick, and Sunday night is upon us. It seems like it's been dark forever. You know, we're used to or accustomed to here in this area it being bright and light out until 8 o'clock at night, even 8:30 sometimes. And then in the last few weeks, you know, most of you are the same way. It just starts to change. And now 6 o'clock, it's like midnight outside. And in the coming weeks by 4:30, 5 o'clock, it's gonna be dark already. So we're getting used to our new comfy things. This is not new, by the way. This is, a friend of mine bought this in Cairo in Egypt years ago. And when he passed, his wife gave it to me. So I love this. It's floor length. I mean, it's so long. And it weighs nothing, but it's so cozy and warm, but sleeveless, so it's not hot. But anyway, it was a great weekend, got a lot accomplished. Had some friends stop by church this morning, and one of my piano students played a prelude to our worship service. So that was nice. We did the market today. Yeah, I've been all through that before about, you know, our market here, and then we have to go by Walmart for certain things and see all kinds of interesting creatures and individuals at Walmart. Saw a beautiful big dog, like a service animal. Beautiful. Almost, his coat was so deep gray, it was almost like a mauve. Had a little bit of a purple tint to it, but we love seeing service animals in the market or when we go to town. Anyway, that's aside from the point. All I was going to share with you is I love to try new things that allow me to have an artistic outlet. Of course, you know I love music, and of course I love cooking, and I love lots of little artsy things, but something I've never done that I've always wanted to do, I have decided to give it a whirl. Now, there are a few other things, like for instance, I've always wanted to go to a pottery class and work on a potter's wheel. I think that would be so much fun, and I think I would be good at it. So I am determined that sooner or later I'm going to schedule classes for maybe a friend or two, and in a neighboring city, and go take classes on a potter's wheel. I think that would be so much fun. I know there's another name for that, a pottery wheel, maybe that's all it is. Anyway, that's one thing I would love to do. Something else I would love to work with someday, and I know it would take a little training and I have to be very careful, is a lathe. Someday, it's kind of a dream of mine to kind of build in a little section of our basement and buy me you know, a moderately expensive lathe and work with wood. I think I would be so good at that too. I think it would be lots of fun to make. I love obelisks and spindles and fancy little things like ornaments and vases and goblets, and I think that would be a lot of fun. And I do have some good friends actually that do that as a pastime and to make a little extra cash on the side. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. But back to what I am going to try. I've seen people, I have a good friend that does some of this, and I've seen a lot of people online in the last few months that do this. So I just decided to hop on the Amazon and do a little research and look at reviews, and I ordered me a loom. Not the kind of loom that has the, I don't know, the thing where you can run the shed through it and all that kind of, you know, I don't really even know the terminology. But I know, you know, there's one where it can take the thread and kind of switch it back and forth for you, so you can just throw that, it's got a shuttle through there, you know, and uses that little shed thing. But this is just a manual loom where you can, I have my shed, it should be coming tomorrow or the next day. I ordered a couple of beautiful wooden sheds that I can help pull the threads open, if you know what I'm talking about. And so that came, and I think it's called, this is the warp. The warp is the actual thread that will, or the material that goes up and down, generally speaking. And then you use the weft, the colored yarns or materials, or I'm gonna get some merino wool and different things. You use those to weave through the warp. So I thought I would just start with some autumny colors, some golds and browns and rusts and creamy tans and some dark rusty reds, and just play around. Now maybe my first 2 or 3 projects may not be just fabulous and wonderful, but I think after I do a few, maybe I can, you know, make some little gifty things for friends, or put them in a tote and throw them in the closet. But at least it's a hobby and a pastime, and it's like an artistic outlet. So I encourage you all to do those things too. A couple other things that came, one of my needles, and I've ordered a couple of other more, one's walnut and one's a different kind of acacia wood or something, needles. This needle actually just came with the loom. And then I ordered this fabulous wooden comb. And some people have said they use this for certain kinds of thicker hair, but a lot of people use this particular wooden comb for weaving. So kind of to, there's a term for this too, but just to push down your threads. So maybe I'll share some of that in you know, a few days or a week or so when I kind of get started, and I'm excited about starting that. I've had it for a few days and just haven't had a chance. This is something, I don't know how about you all, but this just tickles me to death. When you get yarn and it has this tiny little tail hanging out, and you can just pull and pull and pull, and it just never seems to end. Now if I pulled that for like 5 minutes, then this body of this would start to just kind of deflate, because it's, but I mean, it's wonderful. The machines that make these, that just has always just thrilled me to be able to put this like in a big jar or something and hold it still, and you can just pull, weave, knit. That's something else I tried a few years ago, is knitting. And I was gonna knit a scarf. Hang on, and let me grab it. So anyway, I was going to knit a scarf. And as you can tell, I started with, you know, like 10 across, you know, like a little thin scarf. And then after I went like a few rows, I was like, wait, now I'm going 11 across. So you can tell this is kind of narrower and it gets a little thicker. And then as I kept knitting and knitting and knitting, and I thought, what do I do now? I mean, it just goes on forever. And I thought this can get, you know, like 300 yards long, and I don't know how. I mean, I guess I know I could watch a video and learn how to cast off. This is casting on and casting off and then put fringe, but I kind of tired of it, and you know, and I did not continue the scarf. And then, but then I saw this other yarn that I thought was really pretty, and so I started knitting another piece and trying to put little hills and valleys, but then the side got really ugly. So Ephraim's always like, are you 7 years old? I mean, do you want to play the flute, the clarinet, the trumpet? What are you going to play? So I try these things, and some of them work out, and I'm really delighted with it, and it's exciting, and it's fun. And other times I'm like, that's not my thing. Just put it in a bag. So the knitting stuff has been in a little bag in the closet for, 6 or 8 years. And I bought like these fabulous, and I knitted a little on these, and I bought some wooden ones, and I bought purple ones, and I bought just yarn and yarn and yarn, and I was just gonna knit things. Have any of you ever done that? And then I tried 2 or 3 things, and yeah, just discreetly put it in a little bag and zipped it up, stuck it in the closet. So, you know, you can't, you know, be a pro at everything. I tend to be a jack of all trades. I can do a little bit of everything, but I don't often master things because I just don't put my all behind it. Now, some things, you know, in music and other artistic avenues, you know, I pretty much, you know, I can do anything I want to do and accomplish the tops, but not knitting. So we'll see how weaving goes. Anyway, this is just a little short video. I'm going to enjoy some Netflix with my daughter and probably doze off on the sofa, and then later tonight make it in here and collapse in my bed, and we are expecting a good week. And I appreciate you watching All Things Chadwick. I appreciate you taking time, if you can, to give it a thumbs up. And I appreciate you subscribing or telling friends who you think might enjoy this kind of thing. Thumbs up. I do have some other visitors that are going to be in or on a channel episode with me soon. So it was a great weekend. I'm looking forward to a great week, and I will see you soon. I don't know, I guess it's these lights, but this thing is burning me up and it has never been hot.